Grand final time, boys and girls. And it is Foggy against Happy. A best of 5 series here at the Ryzing Cup. And again, unfortunately, no scoreboard today. I guess I could have fixed it with some ugly numbers, but instead I'm just going to make sure that whenever we are heading into a game, I'll let you know which map we're on for the next time. It's going to be fixed again, but unfortunately it crapped out on me today. But we're on map number 1, Twisted Meadows, and it's the grand final. To the top right, Happy. After he demolished his opponent so far in the tournament, didn't drop a single map yet, and to my knowledge, is actually true of his opponent too. At the bottom right, we have a Foggy, who just faced off against another undead player in the semi-final. He was able to take Khaldor down with a 2-0. I guess saying it got a little bit hairy on the second map is probably not quite correct, but yes, there were a few fights that could have gone maybe either way. Khaldor was definitely trying to micro his art out here in order to stay in the game and have a chance to force a third map, but it didn't turn out that way, as in the end the Death Knight fell, and that also of course signaled the end of the game immediately, which is pretty much what happens usually when you're going up against an undead and kill his first hero, unless there is of course a tavern nearby. So scouting is already going on from the two of them. Both of them are scouting into the wrong direction, so they're gonna find the position pretty late. Keeper is underway, and the Death Knight on the other side for Happy. And well, Happy the monster, the beast, the more or less undefeated champion here. So can Foggy take him down this time? That's the question. As for the... well, we have seen this grand final already a few times, and the pairing is of course not a new one. But the question that everybody has is, when will Happy finally fall? And Foggy, he shows all of that incredible consistency and also efficiency against any other player there. But Happy is just a completely different beast and an absolute madman. And today we're going to find out if Foggy finally has found a way to take Happy apart in the grand final here at the Ryzing Cup, or if he's going to take it again. So, big map of course as well, and especially for Undead, there's a lot of spots where you can just level your heroes up to high level, obviously reigning supreme for Undead. Again, a little bit of an attack over here. The Acolyte, unfortunately not going to make it for him, but yep, there's the kill. Alright, and angles in, and immediately Happy with the aggression. And Happy actually super aggressive in this case now, so immediately starting to hunt down his opponent, already having a couple of skeletons in the opponent's main base, double checking what's going on here, and Wisp. Take the Wisps down immediately. Everything that hugs a tree gets a sword or two to the... well, I guess a Wisp... well, I guess a Wisp has a face. It's a little bit of a weird one, to be absolutely honest with you, and only visible in the actual unit portrait, but I guess we can call that a face. So yeah, there's the Detonator on the other hand, so that's a bit of free experience. Didn't lose too much there, and the Keeper now has plus 49. But Happy isn't done yet. Happy might not have gotten any Wisps yet, but he at least made him detonate one, and now is starting to engage that again. Already we have a quick upgrade, Ultra Vision, first one, and Happy also blocking off his own base now, and immediately pulling off the Acolytes, so that the Keeper can't even get the entangle through. Ghouls are doing their thing, and I actually kind of like this. So both of them are immediately going to go for the easy arrest. The good old in and out game, as we have the gold mine being used here to save at least a few of the Wisps, the ones that are being attacked. Hunters make it into the game, and the Death Knight makes it slowly back to base in order to ensure that that nasty Keeper doesn't get too much done. But one Ghoul goes down, and well, that's actually all that Foggy needed for now. So 26 supply for him early on. Still another skeleton at the bottom, already detonated. Hunts to begin with. For Foggy is already a very different style from what we've seen him play against Khaldor. Again, against Happy it always feels like you have to come up with something else, and you have to definitely change your MO a little bit, or you're going to be taken down there. But well, let's see what he actually can do right now. I guess most people definitely have a win for Happy here in the cards, but Foggy... I mean, at some point, honestly, I don't really know if you're just figuring, hey, at some point I'm going to beat the guy, or if you just resign and you just say, like, okay, I think I can't beat him at all. The interesting thing is that in a lot of games, you then end up starting to cheese a little bit. We've seen that a lot in, well, not only in WarCraft, but also StarCraft 2. If you know that your opponent isn't a straight-up game, just better than you, then there, of course, is always the option to try and throw him a little bit of a curveball. But Foggy himself, being an absolutely excellent player, still believes in his chances of playing these straight-up games against Happy. And again, you have to. You might land a lucky punch, but if it's a best of 5 series, then let's face it, you won't be able to throw that many curveballs. That gets pretty difficult after a while. Maybe one sneaky win on a map if you have something planned, but that's about it. So Tree of Life Tech is nearly completed. Also, with the tree now walking away, a walk of the ends is already happening, so he opens up the wall. And on the other hand, yeah, not really a lot of experience inside of Happy either. As long as the Night Elf doesn't really creep a whole lot, you don't need to necessarily creep either. So as long as you occupy your opponent and ensure that he doesn't have high-level heroes, that's usually kind of alright for you. As an undead, of course, in the late game, you really depend on those. So sooner rather than later, you want to make sure that you get a couple of decent creep spots there. But yeah, both of them are just sneaking around there. Ancient of Lore double is gonna put into play with a second hero now on the Alchemist. Foggy is trying to keep some of the more dominant camps. He gets the Rock Golem, and Happy can't figure it out just yet. So he's still on level 1 with the Death Knight. Hasn't really sniffed out where exactly his opponent is positioned right now. So the experience goes over uncontested to Foggy. He has the level 2 Keeper for himself, and also actually a Potion of Greater Mana, which is pretty solid. So it's a pretty cool item for him to find. It's definitely going to be super useful for him later, especially if he, for example, plans on using the Alchemist here for the healing spray in some of those big team fights. That can really make all the difference here. But for now, second hero is also in for Happy. He didn't get a single point of experience yet, by the way. Takes into tier 3 already. We have also a bit more taken away now by Foggy. He has the early Huntress, so when it comes to tier 1 units, obviously quite strong, and therefore he has a bit of map control over his opponent now. Alright, tries to get the experience here completely. Death Knight, no coil yet, and yep, there's at least the Nova. So a little bit of experience stolen away. 2 of Agility goes to the Alchemist after all. Foggy on 34 supply, and he has 2... Ooh. Rune, that's actually pretty good. Rune Bracers here for him. So all the nuke attempts that we're going to see from Happy eventually are definitely not going to be all that successful anymore. So that Keeper is going to be a lot safer than he usually would be. So definitely a bit of a win for himself. So far it's actually pretty sweet. Let's see. On the left side, Tree of Life is already underway. 40 supply currently for him, and this is now the moment when we're also going to see some creeping from Happy himself. Has the first Obsidian statue in the game. Currently sitting at 35 supply against the 40 of the Night Elf. And tries to get a Rock Golem himself. Yep, talking about Rock Golems, a little more creep going on here too. Potion of Invulnerability. Yeah, it's actually kind of nice. It's more and more survivability items now for Foggy, so that definitely is going to help him to keep the Keeper in particular in play, but also the Alchemist. The Dryads are also joining the game now. There's scouting going on from both players. We have, first of all, a few Wisps running around here from Foggy, but Happy also has skeletons all over the place, trying to, first of all, find out if there's maybe a sneaky expansion attempt somewhere, but also attempting to figure out where his opponent is currently positioning himself for the creep pattern. Yeah, there's also Boots of Khaldor now. Level 3 for the Alchemist, level 3 for the Keeper. And it's not really too bad. I mean, Happy is about to creep again with a few additional fiends, but he's now on level 2 for the Death Knight. Has found the flute, actually. Alright. Hilarious Flute of Accuracy at this point, as he just pauses the game here, but that's a pretty much decent aura item for him. With attack into the Black Citadel completed too. We have now an Orb of Corruption, so the Lich is, with all of that considered, sitting on +8 attack damage right now. So aura item is definitely a really nice touch for him. But again, there's the Rune Braces on the other side, and it always is a question. Like, the problem with an aura item just in general is you really need to get that focus done. If it's not about like focus fire, then that extra damage evaporates quickly. But if Happy can do one thing well, then it's of course the mechanical side of the game, and he showed that throughout not only this tournament, but pretty much his entire career there. So that is going to help him quite a bit. Then again, we have Potion of Invulnerability for the Alchemist. We have Lesser Invulnerability for the Keeper. He has the Rune Bracers too, so he's pretty much nuke resilient at this point. On top of that, you're also looking at decent items for the Alchemist now, even putting on the additional Scroll of Healing, which will help him to keep anything alive against the Nova in particular right now, but any AoE in general. And the Potion of Greater Mana, of course, another really, really nice asset that he has. The expansion spot hasn't been grabbed yet, but he's making his way over as we speak. And with the Wisp floating around at the top, he always has a bit of a shot to scout out what's happening at the natural of his opponent. And in the main base, I mean, Happy just playing this very, very standard right now. No upgrades yet for no one. We're currently looking at +9 attack, which is going to be handed over towards the Lich. We're already seeing exactly that. So that bad boy is doing some serious damage now with a +17. Obviously, get pushed a little bit higher even. And here's our Keeper on 3, and let's see what the Organ Measure is going to drop. And Claws of Attack +9. Alright, good for him too. Expansion underway, and so far so good. I mean, I gotta admit that, of course, to an extent, you kind of want to see Happy, well, Foggy do well. It would be a shame if this is going to end in a 3-0 here, so Happy definitely has the skills to pull that off, but it would be kind of cool if we would go to the final map and go the full distance and have a 5-mapper on our hands. Now there's also the Gloves of Haste, so the damage output of the Lich even increased, but more creeping going on both sides. It's actually pretty much of a calm game right now, with the exception that there's an expansion that puts a bit of a time on all of this, of course. Belt of Giant Strength, nice for the Alchemist. That's going to increase his hit point pool by a lot. The expansion has been sniffed out, but so far, of course, the gold mine isn't quite completed, so he needs to save the Wisp. A little bit of a ring around the rosy game should make that happen, but the skeleton is already disappearing. So 59 supply against 50. Foggy, with the help of the expansion, crossing over into the low upkeep just before he gets that expansion through. In the main base, still nothing too crazy. A little bit of upgrades coming through. Creature Carapace is now slowly coming in. +2 armor upgrades and 1 attack upgrade already for Foggy. So he is really, really upgrading the shit out of all of this. And still sitting on the Tree of Ages too, so he hasn't really gone into that tier 3 tech that we've seen him execute against Xlord regularly. But there's another camp now. It's all about the experience right now. And so far, Foggy has gotten really, really good spots. But there comes the Tinker third, so he's actually going straight on into the Tinker to set this up with a Pocket Factory. Khadgar's Gem of Health. Oh my god, that Alchemist, if he grabs that too, is going to be more or less unkillable. Takes it right away. And passes at least some of the items, the Scroll of Healing, over to his first hero. Level 4 Keeper, level 4 Alchemist. Here comes the attack. Needs to keep this one alive, of course. There's the Pocket Factory already in the back, and now the question, how is Foggy gonna play around that? Needs to be careful with his unit positioning a little bit. The attack is there. There's also the immediate repair, but Foggy's Trio of Life is under pressure, and Happy might try to snipe it, but he has to face the music right now. The attack is in immediately, as the Fiends are getting attacked one after another. +1 armor upgrades is all that they can rely upon right now. A quick burrow doesn't save the Fiend at all, and Happy with 50 supply goes up against Foggy, and Foggy dropped to 41 already. Happy microing his heart out again to just drop one Dryad after another, and the focus fire is absolutely murdering the Dryads. The unarmored units don't stand a chance here against the Fiends, especially with the support of the Lich with his damage output of +23 right now, and also the aura that he has. The flute definitely doing work. Another Huntress goes down. Happy at 51 supply. Foggy at 39. The Keeper in trouble. Pops the potion. Barely stays alive. Tries to go for the counter aggression against the Tinker on level 1. But even that doesn't work out. A quick level up for him. The Nova seals the deal on the Keeper. And that is looking disastrous for Foggy. Happy comes in at the perfect moment in time and absolutely destroys his opponent. Hashtag not even close. Absolute ruthless what we've just witnessed here from Happy. Brutal, savage, wrecked. Happy taking no prisoners. I mean, seriously, you look at the game, you look at the experience, you look at the heroes, you look at the items, and you think, well, Foggy has a good position. he might not be in that bad of a spot, and then Happy comes in and he just wrecks every single Dryad within seconds. I mean, it was honestly like half the army wasn't even there. And of course the piercing damage on the Fiends does wonders against those unarmored units, but still, the upgrade advantage went to Foggy. He had the army, he had the items, and you just figure, okay, this is gonna be at least a really close fight, if nothing else. And then Happy makes it look like there's not even an army available for Foggy. It's kinda incredible. It's honestly insane. It's next level shit right there. And now we are in game number 2. The lead in the best of 5 goes to Happy. He has the 1-0, and on the left side the undead player is now starting in blue once again. And on the right side of the map is Foggy. And the only thing that went through his head when he observed the micro of his opponent in the last game was...
holy shit!
And for good reason. I mean, it was pretty much insane. So now we're having a keeper opening again from Foggy, and we'll see if this one is going to be a bit more successful for him. Granted, Twisted Meadows, big map of course, completely different setup now with Echo Isles here. So, yeah, there comes the Death Knight, and it's just insane. You have to really put this into context. Just observe the games that have been played by Foggy against Ixlot, and then you just look at the performance against Happy here on map 1. And this is, of course, a best of 5 series, so this can always get turned around. But, wow. Just wow. Just stand there and you're speechless when you watch that last fight. Well, it was the only real fight, if you're honest about it for just a moment. And it was just absolutely brutal. So, yeah, Happy already ahead. Happy taking the first win in the best of 5. And let's find out if Foggy can put a little bit of a stop on that and gain some momentum for himself. Because he kind of has to. If you fall behind with an 0-2 in a best of 5, coming back from that position is incredibly difficult. Then again, granted, in a lot of games actually in the past, especially when it comes to map choices and map pattern, there is obviously also the possibility that you play at the beginning of the series the maps that you feel you have a huge disadvantage at, and then as the match progresses, you get maps played towards you that are way, way more advantageous for you. Then again, there's the argument that this is not really the case here. So, let's see. Let's have a little bit of a look of how exactly this is going to pan out for Foggy. This time he actually opens up with Treants, Force of Nature for him to make creeping a little bit easier. Has the Keeper already on 2 pretty much instantaneously. And goes into the early expansion again. Tree of Life. So, yeah, Compost already on the ground, slowly starting to grow to a bit of a living form and being. And yep, there we go. This pretty much happens. This is what's going on if you are throwing out your bio trash all the time and you don't pay any attention to it. At some point, it starts to grow legs and walks away. So this is pretty much where Night Elves come from. Yeah, learned something today. I know. This is the Night Elf lore that nobody wants to tell you. It's a conspiracy, but it is the harsh truth. There's already level 2 for the Death Knight, as a bit of ghoul creeping is going on the left side, of course. So he gets that. Also, with the Keeper, having the Circle of Nobility, is still dancing around this a little bit. Of course, the Death Knight wants to keep him as busy as he possibly can, and try and also snipe a few units at the expansion. No! Murderer. Alright, time for the skeletons to appear. Rise, minions, rise. Well, there we go. Alrighty. Let's get ready to rumble. Here we go. The expansion has to be taken off. Orgrimmar is the big prize. A good and well-placed coil could take that too. There's even an Acolyte in the mix, just to be on the safe side for the extra damage output, you know. Okay, so there comes the attack, and, well, Happy is already dancing around this. For Happy's perspective, the only thing that he has to do is buy time, right? I mean, if you can, of course, take more, if you can take a few of the units down, maybe even, like, thwart the entire attempt, that would be the dream. But at the same time, buying time is the first and pretty much the smallest of objectives that he has right now. Tree of Life Tech is already in, and with only 2 archers, currently Foggy doesn't really feel confident enough to make the play just yet. Happy, of course, is not wasting any time there either. Bam, there's the tech into the Black Citadel. There's already the Lich coming in. And on top of that, we have now the tech started up with the Slaughterhouse. Since he is very well aware that his opponent is at the bottom of the map, can drop the Slaughterhouse at the front. It's not going to be taken down anytime soon. Entangle on the Acolyte. Probably not worth the coil there. But, yeah. gets at least the hit in and denied the experience. Probably required. Actually, my bad for not double checking it quickly. Okay, so, well, for now, Foggy actually not going for the creepy. Waits for the Tree of Life to make his way over. That's gonna, of course, help out with it. Again, for all the WarCraft 3 newbies that come over from the Heroes of the Storm faction. If that thing gets the last hit on any of those, it means that he's actually going to steal the experience away. So you want to always last hit with the Night Elf units here if you want to make a play. Wakes up the creeps, the double and entangle is ready there immediately. And there's also the second hero. Alchemist is in. Happy still sitting around saying like, nah, can I get that coil in? Maybe. But yeah, nicely zoned out. So Foggy is going to get the experience. Foggy gets the Circuit of Nobility, and the Death Knight portaled out with a Staff of Teleportation. Yeah, no problem here. But creeps the Marketplace, and the Marketplace spot is obviously heavily important now too, getting all of that done here. And it's actually pretty important for him as well. I mean, this is again the game with vision, you know the opponent is at the bottom right, just portal over, help to get the spot here, gets in this case the Wand of Mana stealing for himself. Foggy now in the main base, the tech into the Tree of Eternity, starting with the Hunter's Hall here again, and has also a bit of creeping going on as he focuses his own attention onto the Goblin Merchant to grab himself a replenishment potion. And yep, WarCraft 3 calls it a replenishment potion. In real life we call it beer. The brew of the gods. Alchemist on level 2 as he comes to hit in. The French call it wine, but the French have no idea what we're talking about. It's all about beer, of course. Ask any German, they all can tell you. And Claws Attack +6, and the Gloves of Haste. Alright, baby, let's go. A little bit of a creeps below the bottom left. Foggy is starting to be a bit more aggressive around this. Starting to go straight in and says, like, Ogre Maggie is mine. Let's drop the second one. Circle of Nobility. Alright, let's go, boys. This is a smaller map. There's only a limited amount of creeps what they can actually go for. There's still sea turtles at the bottom left and bottom right. But if you can steal a few of your opponent away, especially the ones in the middle of the map, without being contested, that's always a bit of a win. This one already scouting out what's happening here, so that's why Happy is falling back right away. Ah, still gets the sneaky kill in here too. Alright, Lich is in a bit of trouble though. Lich getting focused and has to TP out. Okay, plus 12 attack for him. Steals the tomb away and the TP on the Lich. Is Foggy gonna make it happen? Is it finally happening? We'll find out. For now, up to the top left, there's already the Black Citadel tech done, Destroyers on the way, and the aggression still from Foggy, as he actually town portals out of there. Alright. Apparently forced into a fight by his opponent. Didn't quite see that there, so apologies from Observer's perspective. Yeah, I'm too busy on the right side. Yeah, sorry for that. Left side though. There's a level 3 now for the Death Knight. Both of them still continuing the creep patterns here. Obviously, for Happy, he wants to have his tech ready. And also the hero levels. We're having level 2 and level 3 now. And that Lich is going to murder. Yeah, that Lich is going to be on 26 additional damage in just a second. And there we go. He already makes his way over to the right side. Keep in mind, this is all archers. So as long as he doesn't have any additional units through, for example, an Ancient of Law over here after his tech into tier 3, this is all going to be just archers and tier 1 units. And that Lich eats those for breakfast. Nova is the least of your worries if you have a Lich on the other side that does 26 additional damage and just absolute crushes. That Alchemist at least is going to hit level 3, has now also a few additional claws, buys an Augur Mauler as well. Fog is at 58 supply, Shop is down, Happy is at 49, and here we go. There's the first Nova, third hero is in, Priestess once again. And the archers are falling, one after another. The few ghouls that Happy brought over with as cannon fodder, they do what they are supposed to. The coil saves the fiend, and so far, Happy once again is looking good. 41 supply already on the side of the Night Elf player, and he's falling rapidly as we're still seeing Happy at 47. Microing the fiends back one after another, with the Frost Armor doing wonders here against the Focus. And another quick hit against especially the Alchemist. The Alchemist in a world of pain. Already has to use it for the Moonwell. Oh, that's the end of the Priestess. That could be the end of the Alchemist. Happy. Can this guy lose at all? How is he making Foggy look like an absolute amateur here, considering how that guy crushed through his bracket tree? Orgrim Mauler is eliminated. Foggy down to 43 supply, 48 for Happy. He is just absolutely insane. Has the Dark Ranger now, has the level 3 Lich, and there's the GG, as Foggy just says. No matter what I do, I just have no answer to this guy. A 2-0 lead for Happy in the best of 5 as we are heading into the third map of the best of 5 series. Game number 3, everybody. A 2-0 lead for Happy in this best of 5 grand final. Yeah, Foggy needed a minute before he joined the third game, and I can absolutely understand that. If I got spanked like this, I would also have trouble sitting down for the third game here. Maybe he also used that minute to pray to a god that I don't believe in. But no matter what he did, I hope that he helped him to find the answer, because currently this beast at the bottom left is absolutely destroying him in every single fight, and it is kind of ridiculous. I mean, it's honestly insane. Foggy is an incredible player. The guy is insanely good, he is disciplined, and then he plays against Happy, and he sometimes looks like a total amateur. It's a little bit too harsh, probably, but it's honestly incredible. Like, the skill gap that you just see there, with the micro that comes from Happy, where it's just like, can that guy at least lose a unit? It just feels like every single time you take a unit or a hero against them, it should be an insta-GG or something. Now, Foggy has now started twice with the Keeper, and he actually holds to that pattern, so we don't have a Demon Hunter opening against Happy at all. So right now, another Keeper opening from our Night Elf player. And he hasn't really done well with this. I mean, Demon Hunter with the continuous mana burn is obviously a nice tool here too, but Foggy doesn't believe in it, at least not against Happy, as we're going into Amazonia right now. And the main question still is, can Happy make this a 3-0 victory? And so far, everything points to the answer being yes. But again, it would also be epic if we have a bit of a comeback attempt here from Foggy, and a reverse sweep in any kind of series is always more than insane. So one sweet day, it might just happen. But for now, Happy coming up to the top, seeing exactly what's going on here, dancing around with his Acolyte a little bit. Who's saying Acolytes don't have a rhythm? And, well, there we go. Baits it a little bit early. So, before the Keeper is out to help out here. And what's the Death Knight going to do? It seems like we're going to see a bit of creeping down at the bottom of the map while he's still making his little dance party happen up towards the top. But yeah, Happy. It's just insane. The guy has the timings, he has the smarts, and he has the micro. It's obviously not as easy as to just say he has godlike micro and is therefore always able to save his units during a team fight. Which is something that other people don't have to that extent. But those timings that he uses to set these attacks up are just absolutely impeccable. Level 2 now for the Keeper. And with that, we are also seeing again the Tree of Life. So it's going to eat himself through that wall and going to try to set the expansion up here towards the top. It's a little bit of cannibalism, honestly, if you think about it. I mean, trees that eat trees, that seems to go against everything that Night Elves stand for. And if you honestly are interested in rebuilding the rainforest, then I'm not quite sure how on a moral level you can actually be okay with those guys eating trees. We should all start a hashtag and complain about that a little bit. But, well, same time, also Cloak of Shadows plus Claws attack plus 6 for the Hapster. One over here. Okay, so I'm not quite sure what they're gonna try and do here, but this is a bit of a game of chicken. It's a weird one at that. Yep. Obviously trying to just like wait here to see if the creep spot is being taken by the opponent, and if it is, then you can just get that sneaky coil in that gets the last hit onto any kind of creep to get the experience. Oh well, takes that, takes the item, alright, steals that away. Double Cloak of Shadows! Yeah, the double Cloak of Shadows, the insane play. If one Cloak of Shadows is just not enough, wear a second one. It allows you to move while you're invisible. Unfortunately for him, that's not true, but he gives quite a bit of money. So yeah, that's a little boost to the economy. and it's a little bit of extra money for especially the Lich later. Okay, but there's the Entangle, and there's the aggression. So Foggy is at this point just saying, okay, sitting back and just going for my macro game alone doesn't apparently cut it. I need to pull off a little bit more here. And that little bit more is then... No way. Is then the attack... How? Death Knight, of course, with that slight speed advantage through the unholding aura, but can you imagine how depressive this must be? If you're actually going for aggression, you're trying to take an Acolyte down, you totally fail at that because your opponent is already sitting nearby, and then as you try to move away with the Keeper, Foggy just casually comes in, gets a quick surround off against you.
Surprise, motherfucker!
And, well, you have to portal out of there. It's just like, it's honestly like the maximum sentence right there. The town portal is lost, you didn't accomplish a whole lot with that move. He at least still has the opportunity to now go for the expansion. Level 3 is also close, but we have level 2 on the Death Knight. He is just creeping more and more, and with the tech also continued. We now see the Halls of the Dead, obviously as in the previous games. We also have the tech straight into the Black Citadel again, and sooner rather than later we're also going to talk about that second hero while the Slaughterhouse is being built right now for Happy. So there we go. Lich is also on the way and is going to be very thankful for that Gloves of Haste plus also the Claws of Attack that we're going to have now. But it's kind of nuts. I mean, seriously. There's another coil, it's level 3. It's just like, dude, just take my lunch money and leave me alone. That's pretty much what's happening there. There's another one. Okay, the Wisp goes down, and the Wisp dying means that there is no detonate against the skeletons. So those skeletons can just currently run rampage through all of the archers that we are seeing here. This is absolutely crazy again. Up towards the top, that Mud Golem is, by the way, still fighting hard. Gets taken down by the trees, so no experience for him either. We have the Alchemist in. 38 supply currently for Foggy. Happy has 28. Slaughterhouse is nearly done. Lich is about to pop up onto the map. And that Death Knight is a happy panda just running around here with level 3 and just saying, this is a great game. I like this. This is going well for me. So, with that said, there's already the Lich. He's obviously going to wait for his tier 3 tag, but that setup is solid. And Foggy on 39 supply. So Foggy now with a level 3 Keeper. Still no portal, of course. This is what we talked earlier, but there's at least an attempt to take down that Death Knight, and psst, Archer goes down, first one eliminated, and he gets the second one. Of course he does, why wouldn't he? And as the Entangle comes in, the Death Knight might be pressured a bit, but he still has a town portal, so that is what he could use if he needs to, but he doesn't even have to. He runs with 2 heroes into his opponent, kills 2 archers, moves out, no problem. No issue with that, and just like this, we have another setup in which Happy is going to crush that timing, isn't he? And Foggy, at this point, I mean, you already feel it coming, don't you? Several archers already went down, and so far the strategy of going into tier 1 units against Happy hasn't really worked out. Foggy is holding onto that same strategy. He's just saying like, hey, this is the way. This is, I mean, he watched The Mandalorian, he knows it. This is the way. This is the one way how I can maybe beat him if at any point my micro is going to be strong enough. But not even Baby Yoda can help him at this point, I think. Because Happy is again just creeping, has by now the Lich also slowly and steadily closer to level 2. And in the main base, you guessed it already, the tech into destroyers is already underway as well. What is Foggy doing? Foggy has a trio of H's, tech ongoing for himself, has already set up a few more buildings over there towards the expansion. Another Ancient of War is going to be in play here. It's more about experience now, of course, for him. He wants to get the solo creep on the Lich so that he can get the level 3 quickly, and therefore the level 2 Nova. We're also seeing the Claws of Attack and the Gloves of Haste given over, as already mentioned previously. And here we go. Attack towards the right side from Foggy, though. Finds the Skull of the Beast. Again, as long as the destroyers aren't around, this is a fantastic tool. Once the destroyers are in play, then you're going to give them a little bit of free energy. depending on how clustered the units are. But he gets the Potion of Lesser Invulnerability. We have Scroll of Healing for him now. So he's really trying to just keep those archers alive, and he really has to. We don't have any upgrades yet, but here comes the attack as we have Happy trying to go for the 3-0 here. He has the big lead in the best of 5, and he's trying to use that once again. Crushes through with already the Orb of Corruption, and doesn't have the Town Portal anymore. Sold that in order to have a bit more money to play around here. Ghouls at the front, lots of detonates coming in. Here comes the third hero. This time it's Tinker. We're going straight in for the Gazlord. Give him the clamps, baby! Or at least try to, as we already see a quick focus on him. That's a third hero gone. Goodbye, baby. And the archers are falling one after another too. They're already on the run. The only thing that the Scroll of the Beast is doing, it actually is covering the retreat here, distracts him for a moment. There's a little bit of free energy for Happy. He's at 48 supply, Foggy is already at 45, and it's just insane. Happy is crushing. He is absolutely unbeatable. That kid is just way too strong here. It looks like he's gonna walk away with a 3-0 victory as he just focuses straight onto the Tree of Ages. Foggy is looking to see if he can maybe get some kind of setup here, but with archers only, this just doesn't look likely. And especially as Happy comes in again, the Lich with the Nova. The slow alone is a huge problem now, as the ghouls are just rushing in to take down one ranged unit after another. The Tinker back to business, trying to save the day here for the Night Elf. And the focus onto the Dark Ranger might have nearly taken her down, but the coil was ready, and the Tinker saw, he came, and he died. Veni, Vidi, GG. That is likely the end of it. Once again, the focus onto the Dark Ranger. He just can't take her down. Those coils are just too reliable. There's the level up for the Lich. He's on 3, 45 supply against 41. Foggy is starting to lose even more ground here. Has the Orb of Venom in the inventory now. And the big boys around against the Alchemist.
Godlike.
Takes the Alchemist nearly down here, but he actually escapes, breaks through it for just a second. But the micro is insane, and there's the coil again just to finish the job. The Surround has already done most of the work. And then the coil finished what he started. 36 supply for Foggy now, and 50 for Happy. At this point, Foggy just deliberating if he should type GG in caps or not. It is a slaughter. Happy just way too strong here. He crushed through the tournament. He crushed through the grand final. And unless his PC unplugs, he is going to win this game too. And honestly, even then, I think he still has a chance. So right now, he's trying to make the play for the last few remaining heroes, but everybody just takes the beating there. The archers, they just have they have nothing, absolutely nothing against this army. The Lich absolutely alive. Another kill against the Alchemist. The Dark Ranger on the move on the left, easily escaping all of this, of course. And it looks like the Tinker is going to fall once again. Happy still sitting at a 50 supply here. And we're looking at 34 for Foggy. He just has nothing. And the levels, the experience, it keeps coming in. And Foggy just realizes this is not his day. This is not his cup. And this is Happy, crowning himself once again, be the champion of the Rising Star Cup. GG and well played.